What's going on, guys? This is Nick aka November, welcoming you back to the next installment of November News. As usual, I've got lots of cool things to talk to you guys about, so let's just dive right into it. So the first story I've got to talk to you guys about today is the Gambit solo film is starting over. According to star actor Channing Tatum, the Gambit solo film is starting from scratch, and that's a good thing. The film has been fluctuating in and out of different stages of development and production since 2014, but the project as a whole seems to be getting itself on the right track now. Tatum explained that the delays allowed properties such as Logan and Deadpool to break the superhero storytelling mold, an achievement that the Gambit script has always been working towards. Tatum states, "We got hit with setbacks, and it was all for good reason. We were trying to do something that this genre of movies hasn't seen before. We kept running into the same problems. And then Deadpool and Logan came through and kicked the doors down." So it really does appear that the way has now been paved for this Gambit property that Fox is cooking up for us. And I personally am really pleased to see that they have taken the time to get it right and make sure it's really going to be a fantastic film for the fans. So the next thing I want to talk about is an interview I found with Charlie Cox having to do with the relationship shared between Daredevil and Elektra. So I do want to note, if you haven't started The Defenders at all, there is going to be a little bit of some spoilers in this segment. So if you don't want to ruin The Defenders at all, I suggest you skip to the time that is now displayed on the screen. Okay, so Defenders sees Matt squaring off against his former ally and lover Elektra, who is now working for the Hand as their living weapon, the Black Sky. Though the Hand does bring her back from the dead, her resurrection does not seem 100% complete, as she does seem to come back as something else other than herself. And although aware of this, Matt still struggles to fight her. Charlie Cox has to say about this, "My feeling is that Matt is deluded in that area. It was clear to everyone else. She's been brought back from the dead and turned into something different. The first time she walks into a room, Matt can't even identify her heartbeat as a human heartbeat. He refers to her as something else." Cox goes on to say, "Daredevil is so drawn to the idea of it being her. Not just because he loved her, but also because it would have relieved a tremendous amount of guilt and shame over what had happened to her. He allows himself to believe. He deludes himself into believing she can be refound." Cox finishes by stating, "The way I like to think about the Matt and Elektra relationship, it's the superhero version of the very toxic relationship you have in your 20s. Part of you is always with that great love you had, even though it was always doomed." In this week's edition of Just So You Know, new Injustice 2 characters have been announced: DC's own Black Mantis, Dark Horse's Hellboy, and Mortal Kombat's Raiden and Sub-Zero. Set photos have been released that confirm Gwyneth Paltrow's Pepper Potts character will be appearing in the Avengers 4 film. And according to director James Gunn, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 will be helping to set up the next 10 to 20 years of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, as well as expanding its cosmic universe. In this edition of Casting Call, it was recently revealed by Tom Von Lawler of Peaky Blinders and series Love Hate that he will be filling the role of Ebony Maw in the upcoming Infinity War film. And though Marvel Netflix's series The Punisher wrapped shooting months ago, a casting announcement for the property has surfaced online. According to Entertainment Weekly, Academy Award-nominated actress Shohreh Aghdashloo, I really hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, will be playing Farah Madani, a psychiatrist with a reoccurring role within the series. So this week I'm introducing a new segment I'm calling Giant Sized. Essentially what this segment is a story that I have that kind of focuses on more than one aspect of the topic, and generally will maybe be a little more information than kind of what most of my stories contain. So this week in Giant Sized, I want to talk about Jared Leto and the Joker. So it's no surprise that Jared Leto was not very pleased with how little the Joker character actually appeared within the Suicide Squad film. Especially comparative to the amount of footage that was actually shot with that character. And following his quite vocal displeasure of this fact, it was kind of unclear whether or not DC and Warner Brothers were going to bring him back to reprise the Joker role in future DCU properties. That said, it has been confirmed that Jared Leto will be reprising the Clown Prince of Crime role in the upcoming Suicide Squad 2 movie and the Gotham City Sirens film. As well, it has been announced that he will be filling the Joker role in an upcoming Joker and Harley Quinn film. This project is described as a crime love story with writer-director duo Glenn Ficarra and John Requa of Crazy Stupid Love. Personally speaking, I wasn't a huge fan of Leto's interpretation on the Joker. I wasn't super keen on the Gangsta Joker interpretation he took. That being said, I am actually quite pleased to see Warner Brothers and DC giving him the opportunity to come back out and reprise the role, and to show why his interpretation of the Joker is a viable one. In other Joker news, it has been reported that a Joker origin story is in the early stages of production. The script will be co-written by Todd Phillips of The Hangover and Scott Silver of 8 Mile, with Martin Scorsese set to co-produce. This film is said to be not like any other iteration already seen within the DC Extended Universe. Mike Fleming Jr. of Deadline wrote, "The intention is to make a gritty and grounded hard-boiled crime film set in early 80s Gotham City that isn't meant to feel like a DC movie as much as one of Scorsese's films from the era, like Taxi Driver, Raging Bull, or The King of Comedy." Jared Leto will not be stepping in to fill the Joker role in this upcoming film, but rather they are looking for a new face to fill the shoes of the Joker with. This film is set to be the first under a new banner by DC and Warner Brothers, which will focus on standalone films and will be set outside of the DCEU. So for this last story, we're gonna venture a little bit into tinfoil hat territory, kiddies. This segment works along the lines of some rumors I read, as well as some personal speculation I have with what may be happening in the future of the MCU. So at this point, as expected, rumors are flying in from all sides concerning Avengers 4. The shoots and casting calls that have already been confirmed in Tokyo are one of the things that are sparking some of these rumors. Along with that, it appears that some new reports are stating that the Atlanta set of Avengers 4 is starting to have a little slice of Japan to it itself. And recently, Jeremy Reyner, playing the character Hawkeye, has been spotted on the Atlanta set. So the rumor is Rayner's Clint Barton may be hanging up his arrows in exchange for a new persona. And if the Japanese locations and sets are any indication, we may be seeing the premiere of Clint's Ronin character in the MCU, as that persona has strong ties to Japan. After siding with Cap in the events of Civil War, Clint may be looking to fly under the radar in his heroic efforts, and a new persona would be an excellent way of achieving that. Why am I excited about this? I believe this is a hint to a possible lead-in to the existence of the Secret Avengers within the Marvel Cinematic Universe. One of my main reasons for believing this is if Clint does don his Ronin costume, it does kind of make sense, as Clint was donning that persona for much of his time in the Secret Avengers in the comic series. Also, why this excites me, and I might be stretching a little bit at this point, but I look at this as another possible Defenders tease. 3 of the 4 current Defenders were members of the Secret Avengers in the comics. As well, Daredevil was a founding member of the New Avengers, which was pretty much basically what the Secret Avengers evolved from. I see this as another lead-in to Secret Invasion, as the Secret Avengers were major players. Personally speaking, I may be stretching a little, but it looks to me like some of the stars are definitely aligning for some of these things to at least possibly happen, if they don't actually happen. So that is all I've got for you guys today. I hope you found this episode of November News entertaining, if not at the very least informative. And if you dig what I do here on YouTube, show that like button some love, hit that subscribe button, join the Nation of November. And like I always say, kids, if you're doing it right, you're not getting older, you're just getting better. I'll catch you guys around.